So for your the ringtone, the antenna, or the vibrate, this is the repair that you'll want to do. Now, this module down here encompasses all three of those parts. So you have your ringtone or your loudspeaker. So when you're talking to somebody, either on hands-free or when your phone rings, that's the speaker that is being used. You have your vibrate motor, so when your phone is on silent, you have this motor right here that vibrates, and then you have your antenna as well. So any one of those three issues could be fixed by replacing this unit. Now we'll get into taking this out and then showing you the backside and what could what could be causing the different issues. So you have your screw right here, one screw holding that in place. So you'll get your screwdriver and take that out. It may come out, it may not. Again, sometimes you get lucky with these screws. Sometimes they are stubborn, but you can pop that out just like that. Now, what I'll usually do is get right up on top of here, in between where the battery actually sits and where this module is. I'll kind of get in here and just pop it. Now, you'll want to be careful of this cable underneath. Your charging port and your microphone cable is kind of this bluish, greenish cable, and you don't want to gouge underneath of that, or you'll actually damage that, because that's held down by a screw as well. So as long as you get enough little separation on this, you can usually just kind of pinch it in the corner and just work it up, and then it may be clipped in down here, so you can again just be careful of the antenna, but you can kind of wiggle and it should pop up. So that's the cable I was talking about. It has a screw holding it down, and you want to be careful not to damage that, because if that's okay and you damage that, you're going to have to replace that as well. So we'll set that aside for right now. We'll get back to that in a second, but here's the module. It has your antenna, your vibrate motor, and your ringtone or loudspeaker. On the back side, you'll notice that all the contact points for your antenna, your vibrate motor, and then and that's your microphone. It's basically the mic gets inside of that, and then the sound will travel through this little hole. So when you talk, it kind of directs your voice into here. But if you're having trouble with the vibrate motor, you can either replace this piece, but being very careful of taking this cable out, because these cables are paper thin, and if you go to try to apply too much pressure, you can actually tear it. Or your antenna. You can take the antenna, being careful again to unwrap it and take it off of here. Typically it's just an adhesive that's holding it down. You can also pop your ringtone, the buzzer, out of its spot. But what I tend to find is it's cheaper. You should be able to find this module is one piece, and it just comes like this, and you can take this out and put it into your new phone. Now, these may be okay. You may not be having any issues with this, especially maybe your antenna's not working. Maybe the antenna's bad. Well, on your board, you actually have your antenna cable going from this unit up to your board. And if this is partially unplugged, maybe this is partially unplugged, then you can definitely have signal problems. And it may not be the antenna itself, and maybe the cable plugged to the board. Or, these two connectors right here, these are the vibrate motor contacts. And one of these contacts may be damaged, broken, could be dirty. So there could be a number of things causing, causing any one of those three, your antenna, your vibrate motor, or your ringtone buzzer to not work. So it may take a little bit of troubleshooting, but if these look okay, all these, these are plugged in, and all the contact points look fine, then more than likely it is this module. Now you can replace it, but then again, with the eraser, like I said, I usually use an eraser for cleaning these contact points. And what happens sometimes is these points can be dirty, and just get some dirt in between this and the contact point on the board, and it will sometimes cause these parts to not work. So once you figure out what exactly is going on, you fix the issue, then your new module, if you've replaced it, you can put it right down inside of where it clips in, right down there, and then your screw goes right back in that hole. Whoop. And that antenna speaker cable keeps flopping out. But anyway, so once you get that in place, then again, put everything back together and test it. It may take a while, again, to try to troubleshoot everything, because it's kind of 3 different things in one, but whatever your problem is, typically replacing that module should fix it. But that is how you replace the antenna, vibrate motor, and speaker module.